Hello, I'm Holt Hanley, and this is the Short Range National Forecast. Let's get started. Alright, let's take a look at the current hazards for the country right now. As you can see, there's not too much going on. Some of the more exciting stuff is going to happen later in the week. But you can see there are some winter weather advisories in Washington, Oregon, parts of southern Montana, as well as North Carolina. There's also dense fog advisories from basically Texas all the way up through Missouri. Taking a look at just some of the surface features, some of the fronts, and also the precipitation that's going to happen over the next few days. You see, starting this morning, there's going to be some rain that is likely in western Washington and western Oregon, with some snow scattered in there, as well as some snow in parts of Idaho and Montana. There's a low sitting right above Colorado that is going to bring a good amount of snow to both Wyoming and Colorado, and then the tail end of that low is combining with another low that you can see is sitting just right off Texas, and that's going to bring some rain to New Mexico, but that's going to be the main low you're going to want to watch for the next couple days that I click through. And you can see there's still some snow for the New York, Pennsylvania area, as well as some rain in North Carolina and rain in Florida. But the main lows you want to look at are the ones as the low right off the northwest, the low above Colorado, and the low just off of Texas. Clicking forward, you see that all three of those lows start to move to the east a little bit, bringing some snow into South Dakota and then more rain into the Texas area. Moving forward to Tuesday, let's go to Tuesday morning. You can see now there's a significant amount of snow for especially Idaho. Rain is likely again for the Northwest. The Northwest has the most active weather for basically this entire forecast. Pretty much the entire time there's a low sitting right off the Northwest that is just going to continually have a barrage of rain and snow for Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and western Montana. The interesting feature, so this is Tuesday morning. The interesting feature here is that low that is now over Texas. It is going to bring likely rain for all of eastern Texas, most of Oklahoma, and even some snow as you move farther north. You can see again there's still some snow in New York as well, and that's going to be because of that colder Arctic air that is still sitting up there, because of that cold front that you can see is moving through that area. Let's move forward to Wednesday. Again, that low starts to move off. Now the rain is more like Louisiana area, and the snow that was in Idaho has moved farther into Montana because that low is moving farther east. Let's take a look at the radar right now. You can see some rain in Northern California. I'm guessing by the end of the day we're going to see that rain is going to be covering basically all of Washington and Oregon. Moving over to the east, you can see some rain off South Carolina and parts of Florida as well. Let's look at the water vapor to figure out where that moisture is coming from. The key feature that I see right away is all that moisture that is about to just bombard the entire Northwest. You can see those green colors really indicate that there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, and that's what we would call an atmospheric river. There is just a river of air, mainly caused by the jet stream, that is bringing all that moisture in from the Pacific, and it's just going to dump it on the entire Northwest. That little radar echo that we saw in Florida, you can see is caused by that moisture getting pulled off of the Gulf. Now let's look at the 500 millibar temperatures and winds, just to get a kind of idea of where the troughs and ridges are, and where the cold temperature is getting pulled down and where the warm temperature is being pulled up. So right away you can see there's a ridge over kind of New Mexico, Texas area, but then that trough that is over Nevada is going to move through basically the entire week and cause a number of storms that will bring rain and snow throughout the plains, snow in the Rockies, as well as parts of the Midwest due to some lake effect snow. So you can see, notice that the isobars on the left side of this trough that is now over kind of Wyoming area, the isobars are closer on the west side than they are on the east side. That means that the trough is likely going to get stronger and move south. It's called a digging trough. And that's a good indication that some storms are going to be likely over the next few days. And let's see if it happens. Yes, it's exactly what happens. You can see that trough really build into Texas, bringing that cold Arctic air all the way down to the northern parts of Texas. And that's going to cause some of those rain showers and storms that we saw earlier in the forecast map that kind of moved through Texas all the way through Louisiana and even farther north as well. Alright, let's take a look at the vorticity of this trough that's going to be moving through. Vorticity is really where you can see if the trough gets stronger, because you see these oranges are going to start turning into purples. And right here, this is, I think, where I pointed out before that the isobars were closer on the west side. And let's see what happens to the vorticity right on that trough axis that's above New Mexico. You can see it's exactly what happens, especially in this slide. You can see that purple band. That indicates positive vorticity. And positive vorticity, whenever you hear that word, just think storms. Storm development, strong storms, rain, snow, depending on the temperatures in the area. And you can see there's another trough right above Washington and Oregon that also has some of that strong positive vorticity, which is causing the storms up there. As we move through, you can see that trough just goes right over Louisiana, and that basically explains why those storms are going to happen later in the week. This is now Wednesday. And looking into Thursday, that trough moves over kind of Florida area, and that trough that was over Washington now really digs deep and is going to bring another storm into Texas on Friday. Let's take a look at some of the temperatures over the next few days, or we'll just look at tonight's forecast, or the forecast high for today. So you can see 43 in parts of Washington. In Idaho, there's a 19. That's where some of that Arctic air has come down a little bit. And a 22 in Wyoming. Looking at kind of California, you can see there's some warm temperatures. I can see 79 all the way down in Southern California. That's nice and warm. In the Central Valley, temperatures are going to be more like 60, and parts of Northern California will be around 47. Whereas parts of Utah will get a taste of that Arctic air, 23 in some places. Looking at the Northeast, I haven't been talking about the Northeast too much in this forecast, and that's because not really that much exciting stuff is happening there right now. You saw those troughs were on the northwest and about to move into Texas. Not a whole lot going on in the Northeast. They might get some snow, but nothing really that exciting for this time of year. And the reason it's not that exciting is you can see how warm it is. 41, 43, what's the highest we could find? I think that 43 might take it. Oh, 52. So you see, kind of too warm for any real snowstorms to happen, and we might get a chance for a big snowstorm later in the week. I'll make a forecast video just for that snowstorm probably tomorrow. I'll probably focus on that one tomorrow. You can see Florida super warm right now, 67 degrees. So even though the Northeast is warm, if you want to get even warmer, go on down to Florida. Let's take a look at the 24-hour accumulated snowfall from Monday into Tuesday. You can see some snow in Idaho, Wyoming. The feature that really stands out to me is how dry Montana is. Normally, Montana should just be getting bombarded with snow this time of year, and they really have not had that much. I talked to my buddy up there, and he said last year at this time they had like 16 to 20 inches of snow on the ground at all times. He's in one of the higher elevation places. He says right now there's parts of the ground that are bare. That is just unheard of for this time of year up in Butte, Montana. One of the coldest places in the continent, I might point out. So let's look at the precipitation type and rate for the Northwest. That's where, again, those storms are going to be coming in. See some snow. This is Monday. This is early Monday morning. Let's click into kind of Monday morning as of right now. You can see some snow in southern parts of Montana and that rain in Northern California that we were able to see on the radar. Moving into Tuesday, this is Tuesday, it's more like Monday night. This is more Tuesday morning. You can see that storm has really pushed in. The more coastal areas are where you're going to find that rain. And the reason for that is this time of year the ocean is warmer than the continent. So the ocean plays kind of a moderating role and keeps those temperatures a little bit warmer towards the coast. Whereas you can see more inland is where you get that wintry mix and some snow in the northern parts of Washington. Let's take a look at the Texas area. You can see completely dry right now, which agrees with the radar that we looked at. And then let's move forward in time till we see that low builds right over Texas. This is early Tuesday morning. And then by the time you're going to be commuting on Tuesday, that's when some of those rain showers start to move in and snow in northern parts of the state. Again, that's because that Arctic air gets pulled down with that big trough. You see that storm move off to the east. This is early Wednesday morning. That low is going to be right above Louisiana, bringing in 0.2 inches per hour there. That's pretty significant. Now let's take a look at this storm that's going to be moving through Florida. You can see the low is right off right now. And remember that moisture that I showed in the water vapor? That moisture is getting pulled right off the Gulf. And then if you mix that with this low pressure, that's going to bring some rain into Florida. So let's move through. This is Monday afternoon. You can see there's still some rain hanging around. And then moving into Wednesday, that's when that low starts pulling in over Louisiana. And then you can see that just pushes all the way across the entire region. Moving farther east, this is Thursday. And by Thursday commuting time, that low has moved off the coast. And it'll be interesting to see if that low pulls up the east coast and maybe turns into a big snowstorm up there. One can only hope. It's gonna have to have a combination of different features that come together that can pull up while a trough moves through. Who knows, we might have a big snowstorm for the Northeast later into the week and maybe into the weekend. I'll keep you updated on that. And for more weather-related content, subscribe to my channel. Let me know what the weather is doing in your area. I'd love to hear if you're looking forward to some snow or your just thoughts in general. Thanks for watching.